Hello everyone, welcome back. This one is the second and the concluding video of the 10th chapter from Integrated Social Science Ratna Sagar Class 6, India, Natural Vegetation and Wildlife. In the last video, we have discussed about the natural vegetation of India, in which we have seen that India has a large variety of forests due to variation in relief and rainfall, and they are classified broadly under five categories: tropical rainforests, tropical deciduous forests, desert vegetation, mountain vegetation, and mangrove forest. And we have discussed them in detail. Turning on to the topic which we are going to discuss today is the wildlife of India. Talking about wildlife, what wildlife refers to? Wildlife is a term that refers to animals that are not normally domesticated. Wildlife can be found in all ecosystems: deserts, forests, rainforests, plains, grasslands, and other areas, including the most developed urban areas, all have distinct forms of wildlife. Wildlife provides stability to different natural processes of nature and plays an important role in balancing the environment. It is important for its beauty, economic, scientific, and survival value. It helps to maintain the ecological balance of nature and maintains the food chain. It provides useful substances and wild animal products like ivory, leather, honey, tusk, etc. And if we talk about wildlife in India, India is a home to a large variety of wildlife. India is a biodiversity hotspot with its various ecosystems ranging from the Himalayas in the north to the evergreen rainforests in the south, the desert sands of the west to the marshy mangroves of the east. And India's richness in wildlife has been celebrated since time immemorial. Four of India's national symbols consist India's mammals. The national animal of India, Bengal tiger. National heritage animal of India, Indian elephant. National aquatic animal, South Asian river dolphin. And national bird, Indian peacock. The Indian forests house a large variety of wildlife. More than 80,000 species of animals are found in India. India has more than 1200 species of birds and many types of reptiles. The elephant is the most majestic and the largest mammal found in our country. It is found in the forests of Assam, West Bengal, Madhya Pradesh, Karnataka, Kerala, and Tamil Nadu. The one horned rhinoceros is an endangered species. It is now confined to the restricted locations in Assam and West Bengal, and they are protected in the Kaziranga and Manas National Parks and the Jaldapara Wildlife Sanctuary. And India is the only country in the world that has both tigers and lions. But the number of animal species have now drastically reduced and some of them are endangered. The decline has been due to reckless killing of animals. for personal enjoyment and gain, and this is a serious threat that calls for urgent measures to protect our wildlife. And in response to decrease in the number of wild animals, human encroachment and poaching activities, the government of India established a system of national parks and protected areas in 1935, which was subsequently expanded. In 1972, India enacted the Wildlife Protection Act and Project Tiger to safeguard crucial habitat. Not only hunting and poaching, there are many other threats to wildlife as well. Population growth, fast industrialization, urbanization, and modernization have all contributed to a large scale destruction of natural habitat. Not only this, air, water, soil, and noise pollution and toxicity never seen before is the major factor too. Natural habitats have been destroyed or damaged by activities such as indiscriminate use of synthetic materials, release of radiations, etc. Many people are under the impression that India does not have strong wildlife conservation laws. On the contrary, we have some of the most stringent legislations to protect wildlife and habitats. The government of India has introduced various types of legislation in response to the growing destruction of wildlife, like the Wildlife Protection Act 1972, which was last amended in 2006. It this this act is an important statute that provides a powerful legal framework for prohibition of hunting, protection and management of wildlife habitats, management of zoos, and the Wildlife Protection Act provides for several categories of protected areas also, like such as national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, tiger reserves, etc. In this particular slide there is a map in which the most important national parks, wildlife sanctuaries and bird sanctuaries are shown. Do stop the video for a while and do go through the map, okay? and And let me tell you that wildlife is an important component of biodiversity. To prevent the extinction of species, various projects have been initiated by the Indian government too, such as Project Tiger, Project Elephant, Indian Rhino Vision 2020, Crocodile Conservation Project, Sea Turtle Project, Vulture Conservation Project. Animals and birds are our national heritage and must be protected. And as I said, that a number of national parks, wildlife, and bird sanctuaries have been set up in different parts of India. Let us discuss national park and wildlife sanctuary in detail. Talking about national park, a national park is protected area of land in which a typical ecosystem with all its wild plants and animals are protected and preserved in natural surroundings. A national park is a reserved area meant for preserving not only wildlife but also the natural vegetation and the natural beauty. The Jim Corbett National Park in Uttarakhand is the oldest national park in India. It was established in 1936 as the Haley National Park. In 1952, it was renamed as the Ramganga National Park, and in 1957, It was again renamed as the Jim Corbett National Park in honor of the hunter turned conservationist Jim Corbett. Whereas a wildlife sanctuary is a protected area of land, wetland, or sea reserved for the conservation of wild animals, birds, and plants. Wildlife sanctuary is a reserved area meant for preservation and development of endangered species. The animals, birds, insects, reptiles are preserved in wildlife sanctuary, whereas flora, fauna, landscape, historic objects, etc. are preserved with the help of national parks. What is the objective behind the wildlife sanctuary and national park? The objective of wildlife sanctuary is to make sure that viable population of the wildlife and their habitats are maintained, and the objective behind national park is to protect the natural and historic objects and wildlife of an area. Talking about restrictions, there are less restrictions in the wildlife sanctuary and it is open to public. Whereas on the other hand, in national parks, they are highly restricted and random access to people is not allowed. No official permission is required for wildlife sanctuary, but official permission is required for the national park. Boundaries are not fixed for the wildlife sanctuary, whereas the boundaries for national park are fixed by legislation. Human activity is not allowed in national park, whereas on other hand, human activities are allowed but up to a certain extent only. Talking about some of the wildlife sanctuaries and national parks of India. The Jim Corbett National Park in Uttarakhand protects animal like tiger. They, the Kaziranga National Park in Assam protect animals like rhinoceros. The Hazaribagh National Park in Jharkhand protects tiger. Kanha National Park in Madhya Pradesh protects tiger and cheetah. Sundarbans Tiger Reserve in West Bengal protects the Bengal tiger. Gir National Park in Gujarat protects the Asiatic lion. Bandipur National Park in Karnataka protects the elephant and tiger. Desert National Park in Rajasthan protects Great Indian Bustard. Talking about the wildlife sanctuary, Keoladeo Ghana Bird Sanctuary is there in Rajasthan, and that sanctuary protects Siberian crane. Chilika Lake Bird Sanctuary is there in Odisha, protects waterfowls, cranes, and ducks. Manas Wildlife Sanctuary in Assam protects animals like panther, tiger, rhinoceros. Dashigam Sanctuary in Jammu Kashmir protects Kashmiri stag, musk, snow leopard. Madhumalai Wildlife Sanctuary in Tamil Nadu protects elephant and four-horned antelope. Nagarjuna Sagar Sanctuary in Andhra Pradesh protects tiger and panther. Periyar Sanctuary in Kerala protects elephant, and Balmiki Nagar Tiger Reserve in Bihar protects tiger. Not only this, keeping in view the recent human encroachment, the Indian government did take effective initiatives to conserve wildlife in our country. And amongst its most commendable initiatives is the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972, which prohibits trade of rare and endangered species. However, this is not the only laudatory measure taken by the government of India. There is so much more that needs to be told about various wildlife conservation societies that have helped the country maintain its rich wildlife. Here is a glance at the important wildlife conservation societies of India. The Corbett Foundation, Wildlife Institute of India, Wildlife Protection Society of India, Wildlife Conservation Trust, Wildlife SOS, World Wildlife Fund, and Center for wildlife studies. You may have heard about World Wildlife Fund India. World Wildlife Fund India started working at Hornbill House in Mumbai, and today WWF India happens to be the largest voluntary organization which works for wildlife as well as nature conservation. World Wildlife Fund India promotes various academic field projects for biodiversity and even spreads awareness about environment legal actions. And not only this, we observe Wildlife Week in our country in the first week of October every year. Nature is very important, whether it is the vegetation or the wildlife. Love towards Mother Earth, nature, and animals is to be bestowed. Conservation laws for wildlife should be practiced properly. Strict, strict actions against who do not abide laws is necessary. Non-bailable arrest to person found accused is necessary, and non-industrial activities besides reserve forest is required. Forests and wildlife are the renewable natural resources, and if all the planned programs are effectively executed in a few decades, the flora and the fauna will start flourishing. We must promote public awareness about wildlife conservation. With this, I come to an end of this video. Do read the topic first and then watch the video. With this, I call it a day. Have a nice day, and I hope you like the video. Do read the topics properly, and with this, we are also done with our syllabus too. All the best for the upcoming examinations. Do work hard.